What's up, everybody? How you doing? Live from my studio in Columbus, Ohio, I'm Mike Watson, and I'm the host of Chat and Draw. Thank you for tuning in today. We have another awesome episode. And just to get you caught up, in case you don't know what Chat and Draw is or who I even am, I am the publisher of Short Fuse Media Group, founder of Freestyle Comics, one half of the good, the bad, and the nerdy, the most enthusiastic person in comics, aka going by the moniker of Superman Brother sometimes, Mike Watson. And Chat and Draw is a show where I sit with another creative, a fellow friend, or fan across the virtual table, having geeky conversation and drawing some awesomeness in the comic book kitchen while we talk and chat it up. All right, all right, all right. I hope everybody had a good weekend. My weekend was awesome. You know the baddest thing about my weekend? It went by too fast. That seems to happen a lot, but then the week drags along. It's kind of annoying, if you know what I mean. What's up if you're tuned in to us for the first time? I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you get something out of it or whatnot and end up tagging along for more journeys because I do stuff like this all of the time. Now, I would not be anywhere on my Patreon page without my Patreon members, so let me give them a shout out. So thanks and shout outs to Andrew Duggan, Haley Dennis, Bradley Arney, Tom Kelly, and Unlikely Heroes Studios in the building. Thank you so much, because without you, I would not have a Patreon page. Now, if you want to check out my Patreon page or anything else that I'm associated with, I just learned this thing called branding. Boom! Check me out. Most Epic Art at Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find me by that name on all of those social media, and then you and I, or you and some of us, can all have some fun and have a good time. Now, I got some awesomeness to get ready to draw, but let me bring up my guest in our traditional Chat and Draw tag.
Here comes a new challenger!
Hey, what's up, Gearld? How you doing, man?
Hey man, Gearld couldn't make it, man. This is Miss Smith.
What? Really? I've been duped?
Yes. Sorry, man. You drawing me anyway, so you know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. Here, I'm a why don't you tell everybody about yourself?
Nah, that
Tell everybody what's going on, what we got cracking today.
Well, Miss Smith is my it's my comic. First issue came out in 2014. It's a supernatural adventurer. And yeah. Trying to
Awesome, man.
take on him.
All right, so and in case people, while I'm drawing this character, want to purchase him, bam, there's the link where you can buy it at right there. Check them out and all that goodness. All right, that popped up. We're good. We're rolling, man. We're super live. All right, so let's talk about it, man. So, what made you even make this character to begin with?
Well, I've had I've been creating characters forever, man. Superheroes since at least 5 years old. Lifelong comic book head. Even before I could read, I was looking at the pictures of my older brother's comics. My brother was 6 years older than me, and we shared a room. I can remember just, flipping through the pages. So I've always read them, and I've always created characters. My childhood friend Joe, we both were comic book readers. We both created characters, and we would act out their adventures. Then when Joe's little brother was born, he came along. He started doing it with us.
Mm-hmm.
And even after we stopped, you get a little older and you stop playing, I never stopped creating them. And I used to draw too. When I was younger, I thought I was going to be an artist. That kind of faded, but creating and writing, just always had like an overactive imagination.
Okay. Why did the art fade for you?
That's a good question. I don't know, man. I mean, I was okay. If I would have stuck with it, I'd probably be decent right now. But I was
Mhm.
great with it. I'm no Michael Watson.
Oh man,
But
I'm
yes,
just a guy.
as far as Myth goes, when I first created him, he wasn't called Myth Smith. He was just called Myth. When I create character, if I come up with like an idea or a name, it's on my computer now. But back in the day, I had like a binder or whatever, and I would write down. So I had group names, character names, and one of them was Myth. I've always liked mythology, but he was like a supporting character. He wasn't even the main guy. I've got this superhero group that eventually, hopefully, they'll come out to called the Underground, and yeah, he was like involved with the members of the Underground, but he wasn't a member. He was just like in my head, he was just gonna be like a guest star that showed up. But that was way back in like in the '90s. As time has gone on, I've gotten like not as interested in typical superheroes as I used to be.
Hmm.
Especially, I'm not talking about indie books because indie guys, we can take the superhero, flip the tropes, and we can do whatever. Marvel and DC, big corporate-owned books, they're only going to do so much, and then it's going to reset.
Right.
So,
I,
I wasn't. I'm not as interested in personally myself in writing typical superheroes as I used to be. So I started developing Myth. He's a little different. He doesn't wear a costume. And also it incorporates my interest in mythology, especially beyond Greek mythology, because that's what you grow up with typically learning in school and stuff. But I started reading more different mythologies around the world. Luckily I discovered like Anansi as a kid. So the idea of like black gods isn't foreign to me. And I read like some Native American stuff, and so I've always. And then my friend Joe, I mentioned he had a book of Norse mythology, and yeah, so you combine my interest with mythology and trying to do something a little different because when I first came up with myth, there weren't a lot of black characters who deal with magic that I knew of anyway. I knew of Witch Doctor from Kenji, I think it's Jumani Marshall. Hopefully I pronounced his last name right.
hmm
Um, there's Witch Doctor, but as far as like indie magic black characters, there weren't. Because I started working on myths kind of seriously around 2009, and there weren't a lot that. I mean, I'm sure there's some that I just didn't know of, but as far as ones I didn't know. In Marvel and DC, they have a few black magic characters, but they weren't really using them. Dr. Voodoo at the time, he wasn't being used. He was still Brother Voodoo. They weren't really using him. DC has a couple like Dr. Mist and I don't know. There's probably some more I'm just not thinking of, but for the most part, you don't really see those characters. There's Bloodwind. Um, so yeah, it was just interesting to me to make this magical character, and plus he's kind of different than a typical magic character. He's not he doesn't cast spells or whatever, but he does have a bunch of magical weapons that he uses.
Okay. What's up, Danny J. Quick? What's up, Kyron? What's up, J Man? Good to have you guys here for the show. Kyron shouts out his character.
Okay, yeah, something for me to look into.
Yeah, that's the good thing about this show, man. That I've noticed to start to pick up is that you're going to discover a lot of other characters. I mean,
Most
I thought
definitely,
you were the
man.
only one.
I've I've been watching. I discovered you relatively recently. I mean, I had heard because we're in a lot of the same groups, so promoting our books. So I've scrolling through the different Facebook groups. I was vaguely aware of Hot Shot, but in fact, I thought he might have been an alien because the way his mask is on his face,
Yeah,
it conforms to his face, kind of like Mr. Miracle. You know how DC they usually draw Mr. Miracle. It looks like it's his skin, yellow skin, and it's kind of the same with Hot Shot. It's blue and you know it's on every feature. So I thought, is this guy alien? um, yeah, I wasn't super familiar with you, but I'd seen Hot Shot and Vigilance, and then Brad. It was Brad Arney really that he had bought some of my books. So shout out to Brad. Well, in fact, before I shout out Brad, shout out to Brian Mark Williams, who's a creator too. You might know him.
I do. That's the homie.
I bought his books like a few years back or whatever, and I've known about him for years before that. But he I assume he saw, like everybody else, I'm out there trying to promote my stuff, trying to get better at doing it. Assume he saw it on one of the posts I put up. He bought my comics and shot me a message.
Thaddeus is saying hello to you, sir.
Oh, what's up, Thaddeus? Great writer right there, man.
Cameron, what's up? Brad, how you doing? Got to shout out the regulars, man. They come through every week, every day. They come through. Got to shout them out.
Yeah, I've been watching, man. I'm working my way backwards. I watched new episodes, but I've been working backwards through the seasons. I'm pretty much done with season 2. Now I'm working. I got to work through season 1. But yeah, Brian Mark Williams, he shot me a message saying how much he liked the books, which was real cool, to hear from a fellow creator, especially one who I was already a fan of anyway. We don't know each other personally. And he sent that message, and I told him, "Hey, thanks, man. I have your books too." And then we became Facebook friends and stuff. And then he does it, not just me, but with other people, books that he likes. He promotes them on his social media. So he was promoting Myth on his Instagram, and I think that's where Brad saw it because he said it was Brian's recommendation that got him to buy it. Then Brad bought them.
Why am I not surprised that Brad knows?
And he sent me a message too about how much he liked them, which was real cool. In fact, Brad's the first person. There's 2 issues of Myth out right now. Issue 0, which is standalone, and then we're working on his 4-issue miniseries. Issue 1 is out now. Issue 2 should be out before the end of the year. And also another series called Double Dose, and Myth stars in the first issue of that. So technically, there's 3 books with Myth in it right now.
Okay.
All 3 of those, plus I have 2 variant covers for issue 1. So he was the first person to buy like all, 5 books. So that was cool. And
let me take a moment to shout out Mr. Brad Arney. I shout him out at the beginning of all my episodes. He's a big supporter, man. Brad is probably the most vicious, hungriest, super fan of indie comic books I may have ever seen in my life. This man is all over. He's even bought and sent me comic books to check out just so I could check them out. That's how big of a fan he is, man.
He has. He bought my books for you. Did you get them?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he sent me a message, telling me he likes the books. And he was telling me, he was asking me if I knew about Short Fuse, and I was like, yeah, I know about them. I haven't really ever communicated with any of them. Then he was like, I communicate with Mike Watson. He kept suggesting I do the show. and I kind of started watching the show, and I was like, yeah, I should do this show. So yeah, definitely shout out to Brad. Hopefully, because I know watching your show has, I've discovered, like you said, I've discovered some books. Like I know I want to get what is that? Master of the Edge. That
Oh yeah.
was
Oh yeah.
good. Fist Foot Frankenstein. I was like, I got to get that one too, and a few others that are like I said, I've been keeping up. I've become a fan of the show. I've been keeping up.
I definitely appreciate that. Kyron wants to know: does this character use a certain type of magic, or magic from a certain region?
Okay.
Are you able to go into the magic without spoiling anything?
That's not really a spoiler. In my universe, like the Myth World universe, magic comes from a specific realm. All magic. The realm is called Next Door.
It's called what?
Next Door.
Okay.
And Earth and Next Door are connected. They kind of like influence each other. So everything we humans have imagined throughout history exists next door.
Okay.
It's all all fables, fairy tales, folk tales, mythologies, religions, whatever you want to call them, bedtime stories. Old woman that lives in a shoe, she's over there chilling with Hercules, with Shango.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they're not all necessarily aware of each other, but it's basically a place of infinite possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And all magic users use, they tap into that realm for their magic. Even if they don't necessarily know they're doing that, but so,
They are.
Yeah. Now the thing with Myth, he was kind of born at like a kind of like a nexus point between Next Door and Earth. So he's basically a product of both realms. And you'll find out later on in the story the circumstances that caused him to be born that way. Basically, he ends up having to guard both realms. He's got to keep Next Door from becoming too quote unquote real, keep Earth from becoming quote unquote too magical. He's maintaining the balance.
Mm-hmm.
And since he's a product of both worlds, magic is like part of him. It's like imprinted onto his DNA. So that's why he can use all these artifacts that he gets from over there. They work for him. Like he has a magical sword that he uses which you're drawing, called the Grail sword. And that's like the King Arthur myth. There's other swords beside Excalibur in those mythologies. And it works for him. It's like a flaming sword.
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't work for you or me. If we grab it, it would just be a sword. He would grabs it. He can activate it and use the flaming abilities. And so he does that with like all the different artifacts. He's got like a flying carpet that he uses. From that's from the Arabian Nights. He's got, and some stuff I just make up myself.
Of course.
But I'm going to use actual items from quote unquote real mythologies too.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also excuse me, he's also I mean, physically he's like in his early 30s, but he's actually over 200 years old. And
Okay.
You'll eventually find out why he doesn't age. I'm not I can spoil that.
Yeah, don't give us all the goodies. So, how many issues do you have planned for this?
It's gonna be a 4-issue mini, but what I'm thinking beyond that, I got to build my audience, of course, but
Hmm.
I'm thinking after the mini's done, I want to collect that into like a graphic novel or a trade, and thinking about kickstarting that. It'll have like extra material, extra stories and stuff. And I'm thinking Myth is going to be after that. It'll be straight to trade with his future stories instead of individual issues. Um, so I already have, tentative plan. I'm already working on his second.
Paige, there's a link to the comic right there. Just put it in the chat or in the comments.
I'm already working on the second, story, graphic novel. I know what the third one's going to be, but yeah, there's no end in sight for Myth. I have other things too, but I'll always come back to Myth. And I didn't see if Paige is going to buy it or is interested in buying it. Thank you.
So building up the audience right now, 4-issue limited series. How far do you have this thing planned out?
Yeah, like I was saying, it'll keep going as long as I'm going.
Hmm.
Probably, because I lose interest. But yeah, he's definitely gonna have 3 graphic novels for sure, and I have plans for more beyond that as well. Well, not set in stone plans, but I don't plan to stop at 3. Let me put it that way.
Right. But do you have story plotted out, ideas for the story, or just that's where you know where your target is?
Oh yeah, 2. I'm working on. I don't mean issue 2. I'm working on graphic novel 2. So story wise, yeah, I'm plotting that one out. 3, I just got the basic idea. I haven't that's a ways down the way. I'm still trying to get this first series out, man. I've had some delays. I had a I'm on my 3rd artist right now. So shout out to Jordy Perez, who's drawn the Myth Smith miniseries. Yeah, he's my 3rd artist because of I'm learning as I go.
Hmm.
I'm having some everybody's not dependable and some
Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. We all learn as we go.
yeah, so and shout out to Glenn Brewer who drew issues. Do you know Glenn Brewer? Because you're in Columbus.
Yeah,
I think he's in Columbus too. You
man.
don't
I am super bad with names. I know faces and I know artwork, but I probably do because that name does sound familiar.
you because you go to space every year, right?
Yeah.
I know he does too. He has a book. I met Glenn, quote unquote, met because we haven't met in real life yet.
Okay.
I met him online. There's a site that's not around anymore called blacksuperhero.com. And they had their forum was called Hero Talk.
Okay.
There was a lot of, they shut down in 2013, but from 2013 on back, a lot of the black creators, because I wasn't on social media, I didn't join like Facebook till 2014, till my book came out.
Hmm.
Not really Mr. Social Media. Probably wouldn't be if it wasn't for being a creator. But yeah, but I was on the message board heavy, just as a guy who wanted to be a creator, and there were other creators who. So that's where I met Glenn and a lot of other creators. Milton Davis. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
Guy called Urias. He created Jason Wise. So where I met John Jennings and
All right, then, Thaddeus, man. Thank you very much. John Jennings,
uh,
that's another one. He's out
yeah,
here.
yeah. I haven't met him in real world yet, but um, John's partner, one of his partners, Stacy Robinson. They do this
Hmm.
together as Black Kirby. Um, I do know him personally. He used to live right here in town. So him, Charlie Gobill, and another guy named Jan Michael Franklin. They were all like actual creators who lived right in town. So they're not here anymore, but it was cool getting to know them. Uh,
Hmm.
Stacy actually did the Myth Smith's logo. So check
Okay.
see. People know him from lots of stuff. That graphic novel he did. I think my name is Alfonso Jones, or something like that. Sorry that I'm messing that name up. When,
And my the viewers here are used to it. I don't get nobody's name right unless you my mama. I'm just
well, no, I meant the name of the book. Yeah, his name is Stacy Robinson.
hey, I get all names wrong, man. I gotta take notes. Don't feel bad at all.
um, when I met him, he was working on a book called Abraham the Young Lion.
Oh, okay.
Him and John Jennings have a book called Kid Code. I know they're working on one called Night Boy. In fact, when you had John on here, yeah, I that's one of the questions that I asked on the show. It was like,
I remember
Night
that.
Boy. Yeah, so shout out to Stacy. You might know Charlie Gobill from his character is part of the street team.
Uh huh.
That's where the street team pretty much came together, was on blacksuperhero.com.
All right.
Mace, who does Urban Shogun, Stanley Weaver, has a book called Stalker coming out. Charlie at the time had a book called Blackbird. Um, Joe Robinson Curie, who's got a lot of different books, but he's got Punks of Rage. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the one he's mainly known for. Shauna Lean. So yeah, all them guys took their characters and like made a group, and I've met some of them in the real world. I've met Stanley and Mace, and like I said, I know Charlie because he used to live right here in town. Charlie's done a lot of stuff too for me behind the scenes, as far as like character designs and character turnarounds and covers. He's my cover artist for. I've got a book called Double Dose,
Mm-hmm.
and every issue of Double Dose stars a different character. And each
Okay.
it's two stories in every issue, two complete stories by two different artists. And like I said, the first issue stars Miss Smith. Uh, but yeah, Charlie does the covers. And he has his own book called Corsairs about space pirates, which is out right now. Kid Monster Creations is his company. Him and his writing partner, a guy named Daniel, and I'm blanking on Daniel's last name.
Well, with this character right here that I'm drawing, though, I was curious because you say it deals with magic, and there's a whole world that's right next door, which I do like the simplicity and the cleverness of that name. How
Okay.
big are the threats that he faces? Are we talking cityscape, statewide, country, continent, or world threats?
Yes.
Ah, yeah. I just checked
Yeah,
all the boxes.
he does it all, man. This first mini, I still kind because issue 0 is self-contained. It's kind of like I call it the intro book, but I assume not everybody who reads one is going to have read issue 0. So with that in mind, I'm treating the first mini still kind of like as his introduction. It mostly takes place on Earth, but there are glimpses into a couple of other places. Not gonna spoil nothing, but he's dealing with in this mini. There's a guy who there's a guy named Rajiv.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like your typical average Joe office guy, works in an office, doesn't really like his job. G may have a drug problem.
May have a drug problem.
But Rajiv's he's at work. He's got some mandatory overtime. He's hating that he has to do, and next thing you know, some monstrous type people are attacking him, and he's like, "What the heck is going on?" So Myth in this first minute, he's saving Rajiv, and Rajiv, what I'm trying to do is Rajiv is like the audience surrogate, so because Rajiv, most people don't know nothing about magic or don't even believe in magic.
Okay.
Definitely didn't. So he doesn't know what's going on. He gets attacked, tries to kill him. Someone else, some other magical creature attacks him. Myth pops up out of nowhere. So yeah, so you're learning about Myth and Myth's world through Rajiv. If you haven't read issue 0, but of course I recommend you read issue 0 and 1 and Double Dose number 1.
You said double dose. Hold up.
I got a question for you, man.
Go ahead.
I recently bought Hot Shot 1 and Vigilance 1, and I know as an artist, your style changes over the years, and evolves, and seems like you've evolved since issue 1. But I was wondering, was the artist Kyle Hotz an influence on you?
I don't know that name actually.
Oh, okay. The art in issue 1 kind of reminded me of, not that you were like biting them, but
Oh no, no, I absolutely get it. I'm actually influenced by a lot of different artists. Stuart Eminem, I pronounce his name wrong all the time. Adam Kubert, Joe Mad. Thank you, J Man. A dude, he drew Civil War Part 2, and I love his work. He's French, or he lives in France rather. Uh, Again, here goes my thing where I'm terrible with names, but there's
Olivier Coipel is.
yeah, Copio, yeah. I love him. Babs from DC Comics, draws tons of stuff, Batgirl and stuff.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his as well. I didn't know he was black, for years. But okay, so yeah, so
I mean, there's a bunch of
Kyle Hotz thing. Yeah, and I was kind of surprised that your character has your name.
oh yeah, I want to be a superhero, man. I'm 38 years old. That ain't never gonna change. Um, I want that life, but this is the closest I can get to it.
Right.
Mm. Yeah, it's I like this guy.
Appreciate it, man. Was looking forward to your version of him after watching all the other cool stuff. To come back and get a color version next season. Oh, I've got another character. Double Dose issue 2. Start the character. I haven't said much about her yet because I'm trying to learn to till stuff is ready to not put the cart before the horse. Kind of did that with Myth. So I got excited and stuff, started posting stuff. People were asking about the book. Then I had, some delays because issue 1 didn't come out till last year. So yeah, I'm trying to learn to. So yeah, I'm not gonna say too much about her yet. I will say she's Myth is he wears regular clothes. Like right before the show, I asked you if you're gonna draw him with the sword because he's pretty much a normal looking guy. So like the flame of sword will make him stand out, or on his covers there's always there's a monster or something in the background to because most people love costumes, or most comic fans, they love the spandex and the colorful costumes, and I like that stuff too. But Myth is a little different than that, so he's got to have something to make him stand out.
No, I'm with you.
But yeah, the next character I have, she's kind of more. She has more of like a traditional superhero look. She's also, because people ask me at conventions, is this appropriate for kids? And issue 0, I say is. I think issue 0, which is a standalone book, is. I think that's all ages. I mean, there are a couple of decapitated heads in there, but I was looking at stuff like that when I was a kid.
Yeah, man, I was watching Conan when I was little, so yeah, we good.
Yeah, but his mini, I would say, I always say the mini is treated like a rated R movie, 17 and up, because there's some foul language in it, so some parents may be concerned with that. And there's blood and guts, but I mean that's some may be concerned with that as well. So yeah, so with this other character, she's meant to be all ages. So if somebody comes to my table and is like, "Do you have something all ages?" Bam, I do. And I also have stuff that's probably for more adult audience. Trying to have that variety of stuff. Just because for myself, I lean toward more adult, but as a businessman or whatever, I'm trying to
have all options available.
Exactly.
Oh no, I get it.
And still have, be
able to
dumb it
satisfy
down
people
by any means, but just keeping it a little more all ages. Plus, like I said, yeah, she's more superhero, traditional superhero-ish. She's more cosmic on the cosmic side of things, whereas Myth is more on the mystical side. So yeah, I definitely want to see your take on her, probably in color.
All right, your boy Brad said he had a artist draw Myth for him for a commission piece.
He did. By watching your show, I know that's like your best friend, but I didn't know that at the time. Yeah, Ren McKenzie drew him. Very cool pick.
Brad. I wouldn't say he's my best friend. I barely know that guy, man.
Yeah, it was.
No, that's my brother. He's a damn good artist himself.
That was very cool of Brad. That was it's always cool. There's been a few I don't think I've had nobody who bought the book get someone to draw the character for them, but I've had a little I've had other creators draw the character just for the heck of it before,
For fun and stuff, yeah.
and so yeah, that was cool of Brad and Rand. I've been watching that. I know that thing you do where like the circles. What is the name of that tool where like it makes the circles perfect and stuff?
Oh, it's not necessarily a tool. It's just a part of the program that if you hold it long enough in the shape that you're trying to make, it'll perfect them. It'll make them sharp.
Okay.
Doing some of that now, actually.
Also, want to say to your audience to join my mailing list, and you'll get a free Myth Smith sampler comic. Just go to mythworldmedia.com, and it's right there on the the home page, the place to join the email list. You get a free sampler comic, and it's got exclusive pages that are not in any other book. Exclusive Myth Smith pages. It also has a couple of covers for upcoming issue of Double Dose. Because, like I said, each issue of that features a different character. I've got a lot of different characters I've made up over the years, so that's kind of my way to showcase them without doing like a whole huge multi-part storyline with them. I mean, eventually I will, but it's just a way for me to get some of my characters out there
one,
besides Myth.
one step at a time.
Right. And also, Myth, even though like he doesn't have a costume, several of the things he's wearing are magical artifacts themselves.
Hmm.
Like that belt is, it has magical properties. Nothing
That belt
scary.
looked like it was magic. I had a feeling it had something to it.
Even his jacket has properties. His boots, um, that pouch, can't really see it, but that strap that you've drawn is to his pouch called the Infinity Pouch. That's where he keeps a lot of the artifacts. It's kind of like Shaman from Alpha Flight.
Okay.
Where he keep stuff that's too long. That shouldn't really fit in there.
Can.
Like he keeps the sword in there. So pull a sword out. He's like, how the heck is that in there? Keeps a carpet in there, and lots of other stuff too. And also every artifact, because I don't want him to be. I'm not interested in him being like unbeatable.
Hmm.
To be challenged. So every artifact does take a toll on him, different toll.
Okay.
So one might, you know, make him real tired. Like there's one, I'm not gonna say which one, but he only uses it once a day, twice at the maximum if he has to, because it really wears him out. If he uses it twice, yeah, he's wiped out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dun, 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 dun.
So yeah, issue 2 is being colored right now. My colorist, shout out to Gustavo Jimenez. He's just sent me like 2 or 3 pages last week. So I was like, yeah, man, keep them coming. Trying to get it out this year. Trying to have one out. Trying to have one book out every year. At least one book. It would be great to have more, but at least one. I've had a book every year since 2014, except 2018. I didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm trying to get better at constantly having something out.
J-Man said, if your character myth was going to be a live-action movie, what actor would you want to play him? I myself could see a movie made in the style of old school black exploitation film style.
Thanks for the question, J-Man. I'm not even sure who would play him. Probably an unknown. Somebody who could grow an afro. I don't want no wig. I want nobody with no wig.
Hey, man, there's some good wigs out here. Some of them you can't even tell. That's how it's supposed to be.
No. Okay, yeah. Well, I figured, though, if during a fight, somebody was going to grab his hair, though. But, yeah, as far as, like, exploitation, it's kind of funny because I used to describe him as a mix between Hellboy, Indiana Jones, and Shaft. But I still do, but I'm kind of hesitant on the Shaft part because he's not meant to be he's a modern day guy. I mean, he was around during exploitation. He was around way before that, But yeah, I don't want people to think he's like a parody character. He's not like Black Dynamite, Because as far as Shaft, the influence with him is, just being cool and being a ladies' man. Myth is both of those things. But some of the other influences on him, Johnny Quest, the old '80s Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. There was a show back in the '80s, a man called Hawk.
Okay.
Spinoff from Spencer for Hire. Stars what's my man who from Deep Space Nine? I don't know if you are a Trekkie.
I've seen it, but I can't remember half the characters, but I've seen my fair share of episodes.
I'm blanking on the lead's name, but yeah, he was a star of that show because Hawk was like, at least in my estimation, he was probably as popular or more popular than Spencer on Spencer's show, even though he was like a supporting character. He got a spinoff that didn't last long, but yeah. So that's one influence, and one of the biggest influences is Zombie XOMBI from Milestone Comics back in the
Cisco.
Um, yeah, Captain Cisco, but I meant the actor's name. Avery Brooks is his name.
Okay.
But yeah, Zombie, one of my favorite books from Milestone. Kind of quirky, deals with magic in a real interesting way. Magic and technology, really. So I'm trying to do kind of like my version of that. Myth. He deals with he's got some quirky enemies. Hopefully, people will find him interesting and kind of different. That's the goal, as well as his supporting cast. The sidekick is a guy named Isley. It's a little short Cyclops who's just basically Danny DeVito. If Danny DeVito was a Cyclops, he's a younger Danny DeVito. He's kind of like comic relief of the book. He's got an ally that people are going to meet in issue 2. Female ally. She's a sorceress. She's got like a pack of dogs. She's got an all-female pack of dogs who, and all the dogs have powers. She's got kind of like a mental connection with them. Like she's got like a fire-breathing Dalmatian. She's got like a giant. Those dogs, Cane Corso. She's got like a bigger than it should be Cane Corso named Tiny that she rides around, kind of who jumps, does like giant Hulk level leaps. Some of the enemies you meet, don't want to spoil nothing, but yeah.
Well, I can help you because it feels like you want to. Well, so let's not spoil anything. I just put the website in there for people to go out there and go get your book. It's on there. We just posted it on Twitter or Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. But I got your piece done here. I'll be hope you like it.
Oh yeah, man, that was good.
I'm gonna send this to you. I'm gonna send this to you through. I'll send you a link through Google Drive, then you can take it and do what you want with it. Yeah, he's standing in some water. I kind of tried to like put him in a little bit of a sewer environment, like he was hunting something down below or something like that. But I want to thank you for coming out, man, giving us a chance to check out your character and hear about everything that you do. Please go check this man out. Go to the website, check the book out. Where can everybody find you at on social media?
Mythworld Media everywhere. There's an E at the end of world, so MYTHWORLDE Media, or just go to my site mythworldmedia.com and scroll to the bottom of the page, and the links to all my social media are there. Yeah, appreciate you having me on, man. Like I said, I've become a big fan of the show. Hopefully some of the people will check out the book.
Yeah, no, that's the goal, man. That's the goal. Have people checking it out. All right. So again, if you guys like what you saw, you can, if you just tuned in, you can replay this episode. It'll be up on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you're new to the show, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Most Epic Art. You'll find me on there. Give me a subscribe. Give me a follow. Give me a like. Give us some comments. Participate in things like that. If there's somebody that you want to appear on the show, hit me up. Send me a message. Let's see if we can make it happen. I got this big event happening this week. Actually, I got two things happening. Wednesday, I will be hosting, or I will be on Wizard World's website, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, and I'll be doing a chat and draw on Wizard World's site. So that's going to be real fun. Friday, the pre-party is going to be here for FSK Day. Rocking my FSK shirt today. That's going to be real fun. We got a bunch of people coming out for that secret panel, which I'm going to show you a little trailer of that today. And then FSK Day is Saturday. I want you guys to all come out and show out on FSK Day. But I'm going to give you this trailer to get you excited and ready to go. All right. What is Indie Destruction? Find out Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at the pre-party for FSK Day. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you for coming out, man. Enjoyed you.